Hi, welcome to another class on computer networking basics. In this session we will see data and signals. For simplicity, let us consider the basic block diagram of a communication system, which involves a communication from source to destination through the media. Any communication can be represented as a simple schematic like this. That is, it consists of a source, a media and a destination. The first thing for a communication to happen is that the source should collect the message. Message is collected from by the source. Then it is converted into a format which is suitable for the media. At the receiving end, destination will receive signal from media. Then it will be converted back to original message. This is the basic process involved in any communication system. The media may be either copper or air or OFC, whatever may be. For the media to transport this message, it has to be in some format which is suitable to the media. If it is a copper, it is to be in electrical format. If it is air, it is to be in electromagnetic format, EM. And if it is OFC, it has to be in the optical format. For all this to happen, the message is to be first converted into electrical signal. The message is first converted to electrical, then it is converted to the media form, and then it is given to the media. The destination, just the reverse happens. Okay, this electrical format, representation of the message in electrical format, is called as a signal. The message is the voice, maybe voice, text or picture or video, whatever may be the message. These are all the possible messages. All these messages are first converted to an electrical format, and that electrical format representation is called as a signal. Message to be sent is first converted to electrical format, and this is done for handling by various electronic devices. The source consists of a set of electronic devices for processing so many things. That electronic devices can handle only small electrical voltages, and the message is to be transferred into a form which can be handled by those electronic devices. That is the first step involved in any communication system. And such converted electrical form of the message is called as a signal. The signal is transmitted over the media, recovered at the destination by using the just reverse process. The message can be anything: voice, text or image. Voice is usually converted by using a microphone. Text is using some ASCII code or something like that. Image using cameras, and video using video cameras. In all these, this electrical signal varies according to the message. In the case of voice, the electrical voltage varies according to the speed, sound, our voice. If our voice is having a huge sound, then the amplitude will be very high. If it is very small or low volume, then the amplitude is very low. Like that, the voltage of the signal varies depending on the message, and that representation or that electrical converted form is called as signal, or simply hereafter we will tell as signal. Signal can be of two types. The first one is analog and the second one is digital. It is a representation only. Analog means the usual representation I have told, that is, the signal varies continuously according to the message. At each instant of time it has a definite value. At each instant of time it takes a unique value, and that time and voltage both are continuous. Continuous means at each instant of time, infinitely small, how much infinitely may be that small, it has a unique value. Such a signal is called analog or continuous, and it can be represented as a function of time, where the function takes each value at each time instant. Whereas in digital, it is discrete. Discrete means both x-axis and y-axis can take from a set of possible values. For example, consider a binary signal which can vary between 0 and 1. Consider 1 0 0 then 1 1 1 like that, 1 0 1 1 1 0 0 1 1. This is a binary signal. That means it can take any of the value, either 1 or 0, and that value is not continuously changing. It is changing after a particular time period or a bit period. It will change only after that period. That is, it is discrete in both time and voltage. It is discrete. It is a binary signal. Digital can take another format also, like this. That is, this binary can have a set of different values, usually 2 raised to n. It will be of the form 2 raised to n. For example, some out of 8 levels it can have any. Here also the time period is discrete. This is digital signal. These two are digital. This is analog. Now let's see some examples. Analog signal, it varies continuously with time. Here also another analog signal. Here are some digital representation, 1 0 1 1 0 0 0 1. This is binary. It is another form, digital form, discrete form. This is discrete. Always for communication purpose, even if we represent signal like this in discrete levels, we will convert this into binary. For communication purpose, even if we represent like this, for the final transmission we will convert all these into binary by some coding means, and this is the only digital signal important for communication purpose. Hereafter digital means binary only. Advantage of digital signal. The main advantage is that it is less affected by noise. Consider a signal like this. It has two levels, 1 and 0. And while transporting over the media, some noise has been added and it has become something like this. Some noise added here also, and it has become something like this. During reception, it is sampled. It is just sampled, and if it is above a certain threshold, it is assumed that it is 1 only. That is, the original message 101 original message can be recovered from a noise affected signal very easily. Even if some noise is added, we can recover the original signal from it by using some small digital circuitry. That is the advantage of digital. If so many noise is added and the signal becomes something like this, then we cannot recover those signals. Then we will tell bit error has happened. Bit error has happened. A 1 received as a 0 or a 0 received as 1 is called bit error. The second advantage of digital signal is that computer can be introduced for processing. So you see an image. It's a picture. This picture is represented as a file in digital format. It's a file. It will have some 10111 whatever. It's a binary file, and this file can be processed by using some digital image processing techniques, and it can be enhanced. Its quality can be enhanced. So many things can be done by using digital image processing technique. This applies to all digital communication techniques. That is, processing can be done on the signal by using computers, either during message sending or in between a transmission. These signals can be processed by using high capacity computers for enhancing transmission efficiency. That is the main advantage of digital signals. Since there is no analog computers widely used or that is as capable as digital computers, this is not possible with analog signal. The third advantage is that it can be stored and transported in digital formats very easily. As files, we can save, or we can mail, or we can send by using some file transfer techniques, etc. That is the third advantage of digital signal. And one more advantage, the digital can be encrypted, or some encryption methods can be used for security purpose. These files, if it is encrypted by using some encryption techniques, this cannot be recovered by an unknown party, or it is to be decrypted by using the same encryption code, then only it can be received. Or some encryption or security can be added in digital communication if it is done using digital signals. These are the main advantages of digital signals. So many advantages are there. These are the main 4 one. Now due to all these advantages, communication is mostly digital. Now analog signals, we are taking the analog signal one. Communication started as analog during the olden days, during telephony, telegraphy. These were the first communication methods: telephony, telegraphy, radio and everything. Then at that time everything was in analog format only. Later digital techniques were introduced into these all techniques, but during the initial phase everything was in analog. And moreover, all the messages are naturally analog in nature. That is, if it is converted as it is, it will form a analog signal only. It will change continuously with time. The voice is not taking a discrete value, it is always changing. So almost all natural phenomena, when converted into signal format, we will get an analog only. They are converted into digital for our convenience. Due to so many advantages in digital technologies, we are first making into analog, then it is converted into digital in most of the formats. The carriers, the important point to study analog signals nowadays is that the carriers in radio and wireless are still analog in nature. That is, the carriers used are sine waves. This is the very important analog signal, and this is still analog in nature. And carriers used in wireless communication, most of them are analog only, and it is best suited for conductors, that is copper conductors and other conductors. They are best suited. The analog signals can be transported as it is, but digital signals, some disadvantages are there for transporting. That one we will see later. These are the things which are to be taken care of for studying analog signals. Now two converters are involved all these in process, that is analog to digital conversion, and the reverse, digital will be converted back to analog by using DACs. These are the two important converters involved in communication. Now we will see another classification of signals, that is periodic signal and non-periodic or aperiodic signal. A signal that repeats itself after a time period is called a periodic signal. That is, during a particular time interval it takes a shape, and that shape is repeated after every interval, and such a signal is called periodic signal. It repeats over time, and that pattern which is repeating is called a cycle. One pattern which is repeating is called a cycle, and the time taken by the cycle is called a time period. One of such pattern is called a cycle, and the time taken for completing one cycle is called time period, and number of cycles completed in second, number of cycles completed in a second is called frequency. Mathematically, f will be the inverse of time period. Okay, these are examples of some periodic signals. Let's take this one. This pattern from here to here, we will take from here to here. This is one period t. This pattern, it is repeating after every interval. This interval is called time period, and the inverse of this time period, that is 1 by t, will be equal to f, which is called as the frequency. We will see once again. For this pattern from here to here is repeating after every interval, and that period is called time period, and the inverse of this will be called as frequency. These are some other periodic signals: sine wave, square wave, then triangle wave, sawtooth wave. So many periodic waves examples are there. These are some of the important ones, and this is periodic signals. And the second class of will be the just opposite of periodic. The signals which are not periodic in nature are called aperiodic signal or non-periodic signal. Both analog and digital signal can be either periodic or aperiodic. The periodic requires only condition that it has to repeat over a particular interval. The ringback tone of telephone ring, that default tone is there, no, ringtone. That is a example of practically occurring periodic signals, or some sirens. They are periodic in nature. Most of the signals in real world, that is our speech, the picture, the voice, most of the signals in real world scenarios are aperiodic in nature. Some periodic signals are there in nature, but most of them are aperiodic in nature. Now we will see the major periodic signal or major analog periodic signal, which is analog and periodic. The important one in communication study, that is sine wave. The importance of sine wave is that this is the only wave which transmits or which travels over a conductor, and at the exit the shape is preserved. I'll tell once again. This is the sine wave is the only signal which can travel over a conductor for a long length and reach at the other end with the shape preserved. That is, a conductor is there, long conductor is there. Here we are inputting a sine wave. The output will be also a sine wave, that is for sure. Some less in power, some power will be deteriorated. Here if it is like this signal, due to attenuation and all, some power will be lost, some voltage will be reduced, but even then it will be sine wave. But it cannot be like that in any other waveform. That is, if it is square, the wave shape received will be something like this. It will not be a square wave. That is the property of the sine wave. That depends on so many other things, but for the time being, just understand that sine wave is the only signal which can preserve shape while traveling over a conductor media or a transmission media, and that is the main importance of sine wave. The sine wave are defined by its amplitude. This is called, this peak value is called its amplitude, and the time period, that is one upper lobe and one negative. This is called positive cycle and this is called negative cycle. One positive plus one negative is called a time period, T, capital T, and inverse of this is called frequency. F is equal to 1 by T, the number of cycles completed in 1 second, that is frequency. It can be represented as A mathematically as A sin 2 pi ft plus phi, where f is the frequency and phi is the phase angle. This phase angle determines where it is starting. This one cycle is actually 360 degree in terms of angle. If you said in terms of angle, one complete cycle is 360 degree, half will be 180 and quarter will be 90, and this phase angle determines from where it is starting. This is phase 0. The signal is starting from here, the phase angle is this one, like that. That is, it will be shifted. Just understand that this thing indicates the shifting in that waveform in the axis, left or right, something like that. Now we will see two sine waves which are same in amplitude but only half in frequency. This is the high frequency signal, this is the low frequency signal. High frequency signal will be having a less time period, that period will be less, high frequency. This signal is having a low frequency, so time period will be high. You just understand that if frequency is more, this will be tightly packed. If the frequency is less, it will be loosely packed. That's all. Now the second property is its amplitude. Amplitude indicates its peak value, or keeping all other things same, more amplitude. More amplitude means more power. That is, if you are a sound wave means high volume sound will be having a shape like this, and low volume sound will be having a shape like this. The peak amplitude will be less. This is the things in amplitude and frequency. Now the last concept in sine wave, this is somewhat a more technical thing. Just here, if you understand, it is okay. If you doesn't understand, just leave it. The sine wave can be considered as an equivalent of a circular motion. If a circular motion is converted into an electrical representation, then it will form a sine wave. You will see. Consider a rod like this with its one point at origin and another point at here. It is resting like this, and at this point sine will be sine of this angle. The angle that it makes with x-axis is 0, so Sine 0 will be 0 and the point starts, and now it moves like this counterclockwise direction. This rod moves at any instant of time. Say at this instant you take the reflection of this rod on the x-axis. Reflection of this rod in the x-axis, this will be, or this is, if it is theta, sin theta will be opposite side by hypotenuse, and if it is unity, say this is unit, this side, this value will be always sin theta, or sine of this angle will be always the reflection of this thing here. That is, this is the waveform of sin theta, where theta is the angle that the rod makes with x-axis. Then always sin theta will be given by the reflection of this point or value of this point at any instant of time. That is, it will be maximum, sine will be maximum at this point, that is sin 90 is equal to 1. Then once again it will come to 0 at 180, sin 180 is 0. Then 270, sin 270 is minus 1. Then sin 360 will be equal to again 0, and this will continue like this. That is, one rod is rotating in counterclockwise direction continuously. That rotation of the rod, if represented in a waveform or some electrical signal is made about that rotation, then it will be a sine wave. This is the importance of sine wave. Just remember the fact, and that is the reason why we have our commercial supply as 50 Hz sine wave. Our transmission home commercial supply is 50 Hz with 230 volt in India. This is the signal used for commercial electricity. This is due to the fact that electricity is obtained from rotating some turbines. It was initially designed like this, rotating some turbines over a magnetic field, and that rotation is converted to electrical format, so it is in sinusoidal form or sine wave.